I have huge news that I'm so freaking excited about. And, okay. So, yesterday, Governor Shapiro, bless his little heart, signed Senate Bill 1173 into law. And I am thrilled. I don't normally get involved in these political government affairs things, but this bill is so near and dear to my heart that I was actually lobbying at the state capitol for passage of this bill because it's so important. So what is 1173? What is Senate Bill 1173, right? Well, here's what it is. It is a bill that is now a law. It's a freaking law, and it is amending the Real Estate License and Registration Act, the RELRA. So what it says is now it's amending the definition and it's adding in acts that require a license to now include the act of wholesaling. And for those of you who know me in the real estate educator capacity, you know how I felt about wholesaling in the past. So for those of you who don't know what wholesaling is, the really brief version is wholesaling is when a person goes to a property owner and gets their property under contract. They say, I'm going to buy your property. And they're buying it, they're getting it under contract for far less than the actual market value. And sometimes they're doing it because they're promising the seller a quick closing, they're promising them no real estate commission fees, they're promising them they don't have to do any repairs, they don't have to even clean out the property. And so they are giving a bit of convenience in exchange for the loss in equity, for the low price. But what they're doing is they're not actually buying the property. So they tell the seller they're going to buy the property, but then what they do is in the contract, they put these little magic words after their name. They say Joe Schmo buyer Joe Schmo, and or assignee, which means that Joe Schmo, the wholesaler, can now go find someone else who wants to buy this property and he can assign the contract to them. So let's say he goes to the seller and this property is worth $200,000. He might say to the seller, I will buy it for $100,000 and you don't have to clean it out and you don't have to fix anything and I'll close quickly and it's cash and no commissions. And so the seller jumps on it and they say yes because they want the convenience and they probably don't realize how much their house is truly worth. So they sign this contract and Joe Schmo puts in the contract buyer, Joe Schmo, and or assignee. And the seller may or may not, most likely may not be aware that Joe Schmo is assigning the contract. So now Joe puts the property on his website and sends out emails to all the people on his list and says, I have this great property. It's worth $200,000 and it's only $150,000. So now he is offering this property for sale for $150,000, but the seller's only getting $100,000, and Joe Schmo, the wholesaler, is keeping 50 grand. Well, that's great for Joe, isn't it? And it's great for the person who's buying it because they're buying a $200,000 property for $150,000, but the person that's suffering is the seller. And so this has been a widespread problem that's been going on because sellers have not been protected. They have not known what's going on with these wholesaling deals. And maybe some wholesalers explain it to them, but there's not been any statewide regulation or disclosures required that wholesalers have to provide to sellers so that they truly know what's going on. Furthermore, wholesalers have not been required to get any education. They've just been sort of operating under the radar and unregulated. Now, with Senate Bill 1173, in 180 days, which I calculated with ChatGPT to be January 6th, but that's not official yet. That's what I counted 180 days. Wholesalers will need to have a real estate license. Boom. And they will be required to provide certain disclosures to sellers so that sellers know that their house is being, their contract is being assigned, and that they could end up making more money if they truly sold it to an end buyer themselves. And they'll still have the choice if they say it's worth the convenience, I don't want to list it, I just want to sell it for less. They'll have that choice. No one's taking that away from them, but the law is going to require that they be informed. And that's what's really important, so that the seller has a choice. Furthermore, it requires that anyone who wants to wholesale in Pennsylvania must have a real estate license. This is huge, because in order to get a real estate license, you need to complete 75 hours of education. You need to take an exam to pass your courses, and then you need to take a state exam, and you have to be licensed, and you have to do continuing education every 2 years, and you have to be employed by an employing broker. And a broker is someone who has even more education, who has more experience, and is legally responsible for the contracts that a wholesaler or any real estate agent writes. So it's going to be cleaned up a lot. And I'm super excited, because I've been waiting for something like this to happen for a long time, and it's going to be better for everybody. And I was on freaking in the Capitol in Harrisburg talking about this bill, which is really exciting because I got to be a part of it, which is just my own thing. I'm like, oh, I got to do it. It was really cool. But so here's the deal. If you're someone who wholesales, I hope you hear this, because you need to get your real estate license. I put the link to my school in this post. I offer the classes, and they're coming up in September. There's also information about what it takes to get your real estate license, how to choose a broker, all of that good stuff. And you can reach out to me if you have any questions. You can sign up for my classes. You can take them in person, or you can take them Zoom. And there are tons of other schools out there, of course. Mine's the best, so come to me, but you can go wherever you want to go. But remember, you have to get your license. And I'm going to be blasting the airwaves with this, because there are a lot of people that are not going to hear this message. And if you do not get your license, you are either going to be shut down, or you're going to get in trouble for practicing real estate without a license. So you got to get prepared. The 75 hours takes a little bit of time. It's 75 hours. Some classes you can bang it out quickly, but you're not going to learn. Some spread it out over a long time. You have 6 months from now. 6 months goes by like that. So get it together, get your license, share this with anyone you know who does wholesaling, tag them, share it, get the word out, let them know. Get your license, or you're gonna go out of business, and that would suck. As updates come, as the disclosures drop, as the Real Estate Commission creates more documents and gives us more direction on how this law is going to take shape, I will definitely be coming on here and sharing that with you. So stick with me, kiddo. I'm so excited. That's it. Share, and I'll see you guys soon.